Out here at Vikings training camp is the Monday morning quarterbacks Albert, Breer, and Albert. I mean, you come out, you make your tour, you've been to different camps. When you come out here, specifically for the Vikings today, what are you looking for?
I just sort of, I look to connect with people. That's number one when I'm on my trip. I also sort of look for where a team's going, like young players that are coming along. And, obviously in a place like this, it's just sort of taking in the way that new guys like Kwesi and Kevin are running the program, because this is like the first shot for me most times to go and see it with my own eyes. And so getting to see that's always cool. And, there are worse places to be than on a football field in the summer.
And up here where we get a little bit of wind. And although you came on probably the hottest day of training camp.
And that happened to me last year too. So I don't know what it is about when I come here, but it was like 100 degrees last year.
We'll have to look at the calendar the next time that you get out here. But you said it yourself. You have some conversations with some of the front office here. And you've had a couple so far. What have your impressions been of their take on how things are going here?
Yeah, I've got a good feel for the guys who they've hired, a lot of them, and so, I think it's going to be a very different feel than it was under Mike Zimmer and Rick Spielman the last 5-6 years. And I think that's good. And that's nothing against Rick or Zim. It's just sometimes change can bring a different feel among the players. And so it's going to be interesting to me to see how, some of the real brand name guys here look in the context of the new offense, the new defense. And, obviously this place, it's not broken. The Vikings have been competitive for a long, long time. So that's one of the cool things for me is, seeing, Kevin O'Connell's offense coming over from Sean McVay, what that's going to mean for Justin Jefferson, what that's going to mean for Adam Thielen, what that's going to mean for Irv Smith.
Plenty of people think this could be Kirk's big opportunity to kind of light this offense on fire, moving more towards that pass-happy style that's so prevalent in the NFL right now. What do you see, or what kind of an opportunity do you see this as for Kirk?
I've said this a few times this offseason. I sort of feel like what the Vikings are doing with Kirk, with the new guys here, is similar to what the Raiders are doing with Derek Carr. And I think if you want to past comparison for how that works out ideally is Alex Smith in Kansas City, where you have a guy who's a veteran who can play, and you stick with him for the time being. He allows you to get competitive faster, allows you to build at other positions, and he buys you time to find whoever the next guy is going to be. And so I think Kirk's at that stage of his career, but this should give him a great chance. I don't think there's any question. You look at the talent around him, it's still really good. All the guys I mentioned, the skill guys, one of the best groups in the league. And I think what's really cool about it for Kirk, what has to be cool about it for Kirk is he's worked with Kevin before. He had him in Washington, so that's the first thing. And then B, he's had a lot of success in that offense. And I would think, like he would tell you, maybe his best years were those last couple of years in Washington, and maybe in particular the year in 2016 under Sean McVay. And I think, coming here and having this, Kevin O'Connell coming here and being able to kind of present him with some stuff he's been really successful in the past should really help the team get the most out of him.
So one more question before I let you get back to watching the team. The free agency market, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah was very strategic, getting guys that he thought would really fit within this new system. What name jumps out to you the most?
It's probably not going to be a name that's going to excite anybody, but Harrison Phillips is an interesting one. Again, just because of the defense that they're running. And I think, when you're talking about what Kwesi's talking about there, a lot of it probably relates back to the program he's coming from. And, I think this, obviously happens a lot where you bring in guys who are from winning programs. And obviously Kwesi was part of a successful group in Cleveland and San Francisco, and Kevin, coming from the Rams, just won a Super Bowl. So you're looking to bring in guys who've seen that sort of thing. Yeah. And Harrison Phillips was one of the guys who saw Buffalo build. And so I think, you bring in a guy who is really good against the run, and that's important in the Fangio style of defense, a guy who maybe has a little more pass rush ability than you would have previously thought, and a guy who can kind of help Kevin and Kwesi sell the program because he's seen it built a different way before too. So Again, like I know that's
No,
not going
I
to grab
love
it,
that one. No,
but
I
I
love
think
that
it's
one.
an interesting one just because of the program part of it.
No, I love that one, and I think the Minnesota Vikings fans have really embraced him and all of his community efforts as well. So he's already been, I think, a fast favorite. I think you're not in the minority at all. Well, thank you so much, Albert Breer, the Monday morning quarterback, for joining us.
You got it.
Do you ever do that
Yeah,
where it kind of just
yeah.
all comes together?
Yeah.
Thanks.